Alright, this is Standard 10, solving multi-step equations. I want you to pause the video and write down each of these steps. These are the steps we will follow for each of them. We will distribute and then combine like terms, then add or subtract the term that is not touching the variable. In other words, it's away from the variable but on the same side of the equal sign. And multiply or divide the term that is with the variable. Alright, here's example 1. Alright, so we're going to first, if you remember right, the number 1 step was to distribute, but since there's nothing to distribute, we're going to skip to combining like terms. Okay, so if you notice here, we have positive 2x and negative 5x, so 2x minus 5x is negative 3x, and then we have positive 3 and positive 8, so we have plus 11 equals, bring down my equals 38. Now the next step is to move the number to the other side that is away from the variable, or in other words not touching the variable. So we're going to subtract 11 since it's positive 11. Oops, minus 11. So those cancel out. So we now have negative 3x equals positive 27. And this is negative 3 times x, so we're now going to divide by negative 3 to cancel it out and get x by itself. So x equals negative 9. Example 2. So again, we're going to start with distributing this time. If you notice here, it's negative 2x minus 3. Because that minus sign, or in other words that negative sign, is with the 3, we're going to actually distribute negative 3, not just positive 3. So I'm going to bring down my negative 2x since I'm not doing anything with that yet. And then negative 3 times positive 5, we have negative 15x. And then negative 3 times negative 2, we have positive 6, so plus 6 equals 40. So now that we're done distributing, we're going to combine like terms. So we have a negative 2x and a negative 15x. So negative 2 minus 15x is negative 17x. Bring down my plus 6 equals 40. And now we're going to, the positive 6 is the number that's away from the variable. So we're going to get rid of that first and move it to the other side. It's positive, so we're going to subtract. Minus 6 minus 6. We have negative 17x equals 34. And this is negative 17x times, or negative 17 times x. So we're going to divide by negative 17 to cancel it out. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So x equals negative 2. Alright, example 3. We have 5 times negative 3x minus 4 minus 5x equals 40. So we're going to distribute the 5. It's just a positive 5. We're going to distribute both of these. So 5 times negative 3x is negative 15x. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So we're going to write minus 20. Bring down my minus 5x equals 40. And now we're going to, now that we've distributed, combine like terms. So I have a negative 15x here and a negative 5x there. So that's negative 15x minus 5x, which is negative 20x. There's nothing to combine this negative 20 with, so I'm going to just bring it down and write minus 20 equals 40. Alright, once again, we're going to, this minus 20 over here is away from the variable, so we're going to first get that to the other side by adding it over. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So negative 20x equals 60. And my last step, negative 20 times x, so we're going to divide by negative 20 to cancel it out. X equals negative 3. Alright, go ahead and pause the video and try these 3 examples. Alright, so this first example is kind of like the very first one we did. We're not distributing at all, so we're going to combine like terms. So 3x and negative 6x. So we have 3x minus 6x, which is negative 3x. And then I have positive 5, negative 2. So 5 minus 2, we read it left to right there. So we have plus 3. Bring down my equals 6. And we're going to get rid of this number that's away from the variable first. So minus 3, minus 3. So I'm going to cancel those out. Bring down my negative 3x equals 3. And my last step, negative 3 times x. So we're going to divide by negative 3 to cancel it out. And x equals negative 1. Alright, example 2. So we're going to, of course, start with distributing first, the positive 3. So I'm going to bring down my 2x because there's nothing to do with it quite yet. And then we have 3 times x, so we have positive 3x. 3 times negative 5 is minus 15. Bring down my equals negative 5. So then I'm going to combine like terms. I have positive 2x and positive 3x. So I'm going to get 5x. Bring down my minus 15 equals negative 5. Again, we're going to get the number that's not touching or with the x, close to the x, over to the other side. So this is a negative 15, so we're going to add so that we can cancel it out and get 0. Whatever you do to the one side, you do the other. So I'm going to bring down my 5x equals, and then negative 5 plus 15 is positive 10. My last step is to divide by 5 because that's 5 times x. So to cancel out multiplication, we divide. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So x equals 2. Alright, and the last one we have, we're going to distribute first as well. So, oops, let's see, let's get a new color there. Alright, so that is a negative 8. So negative 8 times negative 2x is positive 16x, and then negative 8 times positive 3 is minus 24, or negative 24. Bring down my minus x equals 6. So then we're going to combine like terms. So we have positive 16x and negative x to give us 15x. There's nothing to combine this negative 24 with, so we're just going to bring it down as minus 24 equals 6. Of course, we're going to move the 24 over to the other side. Because it's negative, we're going to add. Whatever you do to one side, you do the other. So we have 15x equals, and 24 plus 6 gives us 30. And 15 times x is what this says. So to cancel out multiplication, we divide both sides by 15. So x is now by itself, so we get x equals positive 2. Alright, that's it for standard 10.